Another big surprise that a lot of testing organizations face is that best practices aren't always best practices. Or they may be best practices, but they don't necessarily yield the positive results that people hope that they do. And we see this a lot of times with our clients, is that something that works with one client may not work with another. Something that I might read on a blog post or on a white paper that says, this is how you increase conversion, with a lot of data to back it up, may have worked for that organization, but may not work for one of our clients. This is not surprising because you can't possibly expect a customer or a visitor from one website to behave exactly the same way with your website. So while best practices are really important, it's important to take them from what they are. They're really great inspiration for how you brainstorm new ideas. We have an example where we added a video to a product detail page, and the video was right next to the call to action button. And it performed phenomenal. It was amazing. It was great results. The client was very happy. We gained a huge increase in conversion. We then took a different video, but for a different client, placed it in a very similar fashion on a different product detail page, and it failed terribly. And this is one of those examples where one could assume video works, great, let's make that a best practice. But that's not necessarily always the case. And so one big surprise for organizations is that best practices are not always best practices. So take them for what they are and use them to inspire your own test ideas. And test them if you want, but just don't count on them always working the way you think they will work.
I totally agree with you, and I think that we're all craving those best practices. Give me the recipe for success. Tell us what to do, and I think that's a perfectly understandable response. But with a little bit of guidance around these best practices, people would be well served. I think there definitely are some truisms that we see kind of across industries and across different use cases. Things like the presence of a security seal seem to always, provide that comfort. Certain best practices around asking people to log in or sign up at a certain point in their purchase funnel when it might be distracting tend to be those prevailing kinds of truisms that I think people can take to the bank. But otherwise, great advice around how to take these best practices and with a grain of salt.